Osula has been given the green light to leave Newcastle United this January window. That, alongside reports that Wissa could well be back in the Newcastle squad this weekend. David Hopinson, the new CEO, has given an interview to Sky Sports where he has said that he believes Newcastle United is the PIF's favourite investment and has given an update on the new St James's Park. Yes guys, how's it going? Welcome back to a new video on this very, very cold Thursday morning, and the first video that I have done in a little while actually. I've been very busy with work, life, Christmas on its way, so that's why I am sat in a park, bit of fresh air. If you can work out where I am, put it down in the comments. I'll give you a clue. I'm not in Newcastle. I am on the other side of the water, so let me know down below. But yes, a chance to catch up on everything that's been going on in the last few days, including the disappointing game on Tuesday night against Spurs. 2-2 draw that felt like a loss. There were some big positives to take from that game, in my opinion. I thought Lewis Hall looked great. We did well to get ahead in the game. Bruno scoring a goal. You know, it's not like we're just winning 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. 4-0 against Everton. You know, beating Man City. A tough game against Marseille. 2 goals last night. Obviously, the continued problem is that we get ahead in games and then, you know, find a way to chuck it in the bin. and we did that last night. Look, the hope is back at St James's Park against Burnley on Saturday, you know, that we can get 1, 2, 3 and really put the game out of sight like we should have done in the first 30 minutes of that Spurs game. And you know what? That was a big part of it. Was we had the chance, we had the opportunities, we kept going, and it got to a point where I thought it's going to be 0-0. It will. No one's going to score here. We did the hard work, and that's the positive of it. We did the hard work. We put ourselves ahead. Bruno came on the pitch. Bruno scored the goal. VAR was a big help for us that day as well. But what we need to work on is the defending. And Eddie Howe spoke on that. He said he's very aware of it. It's something that he needs to get a hold of, needs to fix. And we need to just have a little bit of a run now, going into a very, very busy December. You know, we've got the derby coming up not too far away as well. So yes, thoughts and comments on that one. If you want to give me some early predictions for the Burnley game this weekend, please do so. And once again, I will be there. So I will be sure to do a review, vlog, all the reaction as normal. So drop a subscribe if you haven't already. But a big part of that, and a big part of this conversation, was the rotation of the squad. How's Eddie Howe using the squad? I thought Lewis Miley was good in parts in the game and maybe not so in other parts. I thought you had a cracking game the other night. Brilliant to see Lewis Hall and Tino come in. Livramento, I thought had a really good game as well. But the man up front, Voltemada, who has done very well for us, but undeniably suffering with a little bit of tiredness, fatigue. You know, it's hard to say that this early in the season, but the way he's forced to run for Newcastle, it's clear that we need more striker options, and hopefully we have one around the corner. So that's right, reports are that Whissa is set up and look, it's Eddie Howe's press conference tomorrow morning. We'll hear what he has to say. Whether he'll tell us at all or not, well, I don't know. But a lot of journalists reporting this week that they believe Whissa will be part of the squad this weekend for the game against Burnley on Saturday. A lot of them saying that he's now played 2 behind closed doors friendlies. He has been, you know, getting match fit. It will be great to see him get a few minutes, especially with Osula currently out injured. Now, an interesting one, this one, on Osula, as reports were coming out just a couple of days ago from Sky Germany, and they reported that Newcastle have given Osula the verbal agreement that he could leave this January window. Now, like everything, you know, we're just a few days into December. Things can change quickly. Whissa comes back. Voltemada smashing it. You know, if a team's interested for Osula, maybe that is an option we look at. But as I go back to our conversation on squad rotation, squad depth, Osula is an interesting one for me. And you can let me know your thoughts down below. If I'm totally honest, really, it's what is the deal? what do people want to pay for him? If you think, what did we pay for Osula? 10, 15 million? Reports were the last day of the summer window that we received a £30 million offer and that we accepted it, but that essentially the deal wasn't done in time to let him go. So even at that moment when we had it must have been, we had a fit Whissa, did we at the time, and a fit Voltemada, the decision was, if we can get 30 million for Osula, whether we had the depth that we needed or not, it seemed that Newcastle were willing to take the jump and let him go for that amount of money. So I come back to this January window. If you start talking 30 million for Osula now, who I think you could argue has had more Premier League game time, has scored a couple of goals, you would argue that his price shouldn't have gone down. You know, I don't think it will have skyrocketed through the roof. You know, he hasn't started the season and scored a handful of goals, but I think still, if there is an opportunity for 30 million for Osula, I wouldn't mind it. Now, the figures being discussed from Frankfurt, so that is the team that is being linked out of Germany, that they will be willing to offer, I think it's 3 to 5 million loan payment for the rest of the season with an option or obligation of 20 million. So for me, at where we stand right now, I don't believe, unless they came in and offered 20, 25, 30 million up front at the time in January, you know, then I'll have a conversation with you. But for 3 to 5 million loan, and then not even a confirmation that they will buy him at the end of the season, does not work for me. With as I say, Wissa's going to come back, but we can't read the future. He's just had an injury. A very big thing for us is that he has not been selected for the African Cup of Nations. Now, is that Whissa or Newcastle, you know, having a discussion and saying, no, he's not going to go after everything that's happened. 55 million, hasn't played a game for us yet. Or is it that, you know, they've said he's had no game time, he has been injured, we don't want to take someone who's basically injured in our squad? I think it's possibly a little bit of both. I think Whissa is a fantastic player. Had he not got injured, I don't think there would have been any, and he had played the first half of this season, I don't think there would have been any question that he would have gone to AFCON. But now, because of what's happened, maybe it's a little bit of both there. So let me know your thoughts down. I'm trying to get a coffee here. It's so cold sitting out here. It keeps catching me throat every time I breathe. But let me know your thoughts and comments down below. Do you think that Osula is a player that we should look to offload this January if there is money there and it's a good deal? Or are you like, no, like, you know what it is, we need the squad depth, screw that. In fact, reports are coming out that Newcastle have money and intend to spend this January window, and it's clear that there is positions we need to fill. I would already argue at this point that I would like to see Newcastle look to bring in a striker. Even with Voltemada, Whissa and Osula, I'm still already thinking that another wouldn't be a bad idea. You can't win, can you? Because we'll have 3 fit strikers. We'll buy another one. We've got 4. We don't need that many strikers, really. Or we don't buy a striker, you know, touch wood, we don't, but currently Whissa and Osula both injured. So it's really tough. Sitting here right now, I would like to see us look in for a striker. I think the other position has to be a fullback. I think the way Hall and Livramento has played off the back of having to say, you know, no, again, caveat to every time anyone in the North East talks about Dan Burn as he is a hero, but he can't play left back. And I don't think I can struggle through the rest of this season where, again, you talk about rotation. There is no rotation for Hall and Livramento. I wouldn't be surprised if Newcastle did rotate this Saturday. I thought both of them have put in an absolute shift at the weekend and again on Tuesday night. They play them again against Burnley. You know, this is the perfect rotation. Is it a chance to see Alex Murphy have a little go? Obviously, Trippier's injured, so who are putting it right back? Is it a chance for Kraft to get in? Like, that's the thing. Like, all of a sudden, you lose them two, and you're up the creek with, you know, a Dan Burn and a Kraft paddle. So I think we need to look at a full-back. I think Livramento can play left-back. So you could argue it goes Hall for our best left-backs. It goes Hall, then Livramento, then Burn. Right-back, Tino, Trippier. So maybe a right-back, and then if needed, Tino can cover on the left-hand side. So let me know your thoughts on that one down below. And as well, I would probably say centre midfield. I think we've got loads of wingers. They're not clicking. Like, it's Alanga ain't clicking right now. I think Barnes is on his day. I thought Gordon looked fantastic when he came off the bench. I wouldn't mind seeing some form of creative centre midfielder. I think it took Bruno to come on yesterday and just pull the team 10 yards further forward. We need somebody else who can do that, not just Bruno. But we'll move on. As I say, new CEO David Hopinson has done an interview with Sky Sports today talking about Newcastle United. In fact, they did a live interview at the Stack the other day, and two big points were being picked up on. One was the stadium, and one is the investment of the football club. So Sky Sports are reporting today that David Hopinson has done his interview. He said with his wholeheartedly believes that Newcastle United are the PIF's favourite investment. Now, don't get me wrong, the PIF have a lot of investments. I think they've got Disneyland, they've got all sorts, and there has been conversations to question as to whether, you know, they've got bored or this, because we don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. And obviously, since Amanda and Murdad left, that voice from the club has gone. Now, it's great to see Hopkinson come out and do this interview. Hopefully, he will bring, and then obviously Darren Eales was unwell. So it's great to see him come out and do this talk, bring the voice back. Let's hear what is going on. And he is kind of coming out and giving a bit of reassurance to the fans today, kind of saying, like, don't worry, we are on the case. And as I say, it is not just, sorry, wipe my nose there. It's called that they are behind the club, and they do plan to invest. And as I mentioned, that goes hand in hand with what reporters are saying, that Newcastle do have money and do plan to invest this January window. Obviously, we've just sold Alexander Isak for 130 million. You know, at the time, people are saying it needs to be 150. You know, you're looking now, Liverpool fans are probably upset they paid more than £1.50, £1.30 for the way he's playing right now. You know, we'll move past that. What we know is that we got a hell of a lot of money for him. And yes, we did spend in the summer, but we knew we were going to spend. We had money to spend before we sold Alexander Isak. And now we have sold him for that amount of money. I don't think we will go and spend 130 million this January window. You know, people like Trafford at Man City, obviously heavily linked in the summer. Nick Pope, great with his hands, bad with his feet. Ramsdale, fantastic with his feet. Like, we looked so much calmer, but then he had two shots against him and he missed them both. So, you know, it would not surprise me if Trafford at Man City suddenly becomes an option for Newcastle this January window. Whether the Man City need to let him go or not, who knows. But yes, investment sounds like it's on the cards. And he also talks about investment in the club, in the training ground, in St James's Park. So a big thing that I think a lot of content creators have spoken about over the last few days is the stadium and what is going to happen next. And essentially, you know, what is it, 5 years down, is it, you know, it was 4 years already, how not long ago. So yeah, the time flies when you're having fun, and we have had fun. Champions League, first domestic trophy in 70 years. So yeah, we always want more. We're football fans, we always want the best, we always want what's next, we always want to see more exciting things for our great football club. And one of those things that's been discussed heavily is the stadium. You know, surveys after it's going to happen, it's not going to happen. Reports are that, you know, images of a new stadium were shown to the Newcastle United staff to get their internal opinions, to fan boards to get their opinions, to new badges, which did not go down well and has been pushed back for 2 years because nobody liked the badge they tried to create. But reports coming out essentially to say there has been absolutely no decision made on the new stadium at Newcastle United. And I get it. It's a long process. I think it was Matty from the Magpie channel was talking about the fact that Birmingham City, you know, what they had to take over a year, 2 years ago, and they've just come out and revealed their brand new stadium. So, are Newcastle treading water? Is it because Amanda and Murdad left? Maybe they were the firing force behind this new stadium, which hasn't happened. Darren Eales would have undoubtedly been a part of it, and now he's gone. Now you've got like 3 or 4 new people in. They need to now have a look at it. They need to now make a decision. I think that's a big part of it. You know, because the changeover, you know, Dan Ashworth, Paul Mitchell, Ross Wilson, oh my God, there's that many of them. I'm struggling to keep up with the names of all of these backroom staff. I think that's a part of it. You know, if I've made a major decision for a business and I leave, the new guy's not going to come in and go, yeah, whatever, do whatever he said. You know, the guy who left or got sacked or lost their job, let's just do whatever he wanted to do. You know, that's not the way it works. I think, for me, it will have been continuously delayed because of the continuous upheaval that we've had behind closed doors. Now, the hope is now that he is in, he can make a decision. And if it is, look, if it is, you know, again, everyone's got their own opinions. I think people are clearly moving towards the idea of the new stadium. Loads of great feedback on the Everton game. I think the fact that we won 4-0 probably helped. We won 4-0. Oh, it's a great stadium. We lose 2-1. Oh, I hate that stadium. So, but yes, the feedback has been that people were very pleased with the new Everton stadium and what it had to offer. And I think lots of Newcastle fans want to get in the stadium. And at the moment, we are maxing out every week. So if the decision is to do the Gallagher, then so be it. Or if it is to be the new stadium, and I think I'll get on board with it as well. I'm speaking from a different position. I'm lucky enough, one of the lucky few who has a season ticket, so I'll be there wherever the games are played. But I fully understand and appreciate that's not the case for everyone. So if you want to let me know your thoughts on that down below. I feel like it's a bit of a farce, actually. I understand why it's happened. I understand why it's taken time, but I also find it, you know, fairly farcical that it has kind of, oh yeah, we're going to do it. Oh no, it's going to be the Gallagher now. Oh no, we're going to do it now. And I think to a degree fans are losing a bit of interest in it as well. I appreciate the start of this season didn't go well, and that took a lot of the front page news. But the St James's Park, the stadium, the development, and what we're going to do is always going to be lying in the background. And I think the sooner we make a decision and let the fans know, is the better. So let me know your thoughts on that down below. I've talked for ages there. I'm going to go get in my car and whack the heating on full. But you let me know your thoughts down below on the transfers, on the possibility of Osula leaving, on the possibility of Whissa making a return. Do we still need to strengthen that position? What other positions would you like to see Newcastle look to buy this January window? And thoughts on David Hopinson having a voice, coming out, talking. I think that's a good thing. I think what he said was very positive, and that he believes the PAF are here to back us. The stadium stuff is obviously still going to continue to create that little bit of back and forth between the fans. Right, guys, thank you for watching. The next time you'll see me will likely be on Saturday after the Burnley game, where I'm hopefully celebrating a Newcastle win this time. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.